Sorry guys, I think my battery cut out on me. I've just got a phone or a camera here so much, not so much a video recorder. I'll see if I can get through the rest of this. Along here, along the fence line, I put up a fence that's almost about 7 feet tall, and down here on the edge of my garden I've planted some cucumbers. So those are going to be climbing up and producing some nice cucumbers for me when tomato season kicks around. Just got another little tomato plant here. I seem to not be able to get enough of these. And here's my squash. This and the cucumbers are really the things that I've had problems with, mostly with cucumber beetles. They tend to invade this area quite a bit and kill the plants. And so this is the first year that I haven't seen any cucumber beetles yet. So I'm hesitant to to say that too loud. It might invite them to come over, but so far so good. I've been checking the underside of the leaves and trying to see if I can see any eggs or hiding cucumber beetles, and so far so good. The plants look nice and healthy, and the leaves are free of even powdery mildew at this point. I know that's another problem I tend to have, but hopefully this will be the first summer where I don't have to deal with maybe either of those two things. So we'll see. I've got 4 different types of squash here. There's lemon squash, there's Lebanese squash, golden Marconi, I think, or no, those are peppers. I've got another type of yellow squash, and then I've got some French varieties here as well. 4 different varieties actually that I really like. And then along the front here, I did plant various types of beans. I think these are yellow wax beans. And then over here on the left, I've just got some normal, green style beans and purple beans. I was hoping that I'd be able to harvest these before the squash filled in, and it looks like I did a very poor job of planting, because the squash plants are now taking over the area. So hopefully I can get at least a few harvests of beans before the squash plants kind of shade them out, and the plants don't like that and will stop producing. And then over here I've got a new berry patch row. I planted varieties of huckleberries and other types of Cape gooseberries and a whole bunch of berries that I'm hoping will come in. You can see I've got some flowers that are starting, little white flowers that are starting on some of these. See, the bugs love them. There's lots of holes and everything, but we'll see. I haven't grown any of these before. I don't know if I'll grow them again. I've been told that they might get as tall as tomato plants, so based on how tall my tomato plants are, I hope that's not the case, because they might shade out some things in the back, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then up here at the front, I'm growing red okra. I got the seeds from rareseeds.com, and they do a good job. That's the Baker Creek variety, and I really like their seeds. They give me a lot of things that I've never seen before, never grown before, never even heard of before, and as a result of that, I tend to buy their seeds. I've never grown okra before. I've heard it'll take about 90 days or so to get a nice tall plant. I've heard they do get pretty tall, but at this point, these have been on the ground for about 6 weeks, and they're pretty small at this point, so hopefully they'll come around. And then in the back there, hard to see, but I'm actually growing green okra as well. You can see the plants there. Again, slow to grow. These berries up here in the front have seemed to taken over. Probably going to shade them out, so if the berries don't work as I expect, I might be pulling the plants just to give room for the okra. You can actually see here, I just noticed, I didn't notice this before, but I've got little balls of berries, so I think it's out of focus. So we'll see. Looks like I'm getting some berries, so we'll see how that goes. And then along the back there, along the main row, this is the main reason I put the fence in, is there's peas, beans, and a whole bunch of other things that I put in to grow up that plant. At this point I have, I think four different varieties of peas that I've planted. You can see these little red flowers here. I've never grown these before. These are called Native American Scarlet Runner Beans. I bought them for 2 reasons. Well, number one, obviously to grow up the fence here. I've got room to grow up, so I planted peas all along the outer edge of the fence, and then beans along the inner edge of the fence, and I grew a number of different beans, 2 varieties of runner beans. These are the Native American ones. I bought them mostly because of these flowers. They're supposed to produce really bright red flowers that are supposed to get really big and beautiful. So we'll see how that goes. Looks like they're starting to form here, so hopefully get a little bit bigger in the week. And then I've got my pea row in the back. You can see I've got some some peas going. Like, looks like I can harvest these. I harvested along the outer edge. Along the inner edge here, it makes it a little bit more difficult because I can't reach them, and I don't want to step in the garden at all because that crushes the soil a bit. And I'll try to see if I can get those somehow. But again, just going along, you can see I do have a lot of beans. A lot of them are reaching out and almost up to the top even. So my 7-foot tall fence may not be tall enough for some of these guys. So we'll see though. We'll see how that goes. I was really looking for a nice green wall as far as beans and peas kind of shading everything in and really being a nice green wall, and it looks like it's starting to work. So as you can see, I've got all these peas and everything that's been climbing up, and I'm really happy with that. These other lighter green leaves are the other runner beans that I've got, and they're starting to climb up a bit. So we'll see in the next month. I bet I'll have a nice green wall here that's completely filled in. Obviously the peas might not make it that far, but hopefully the beans will. And then coming back to where I started here again, I've got some cow peas coming. They're supposed to start vining up, but I haven't seen them start to vine. So we'll see. Maybe they don't vine. I thought they did, but again, I've never grown them before. That's part of the fun, part of seeing what goes on, and you know, we'll see. Back to the cucumbers, and then along the cucumbers, you can see they're throwing out their little runners. I've been trying to attach these to the fence, but some of them don't want to stay at this point, so I'll let the plants get a little bit bigger. Some of them are, you can see, curled along. They do have the little feeler things reaching out and looped around the fence, so hopefully they start climbing up and give me some nice cucumbers. I do have some flowers here. I don't know if I see any female flowers. That might be a female there, actually. Kind of hard to see. It's out of focus a little bit. But it looks like that might be a female flower, so hopefully I'll get some cucumbers here in the next couple weeks. And then over here I've just got my row of peas, as I mentioned before. So it's filling in nicely, it's doing the job, and really been happy getting a little bit of a harvest here. I'll probably start these earlier next year. I think I started them about a month late here in Chicago. I did plant them, some of them at least, I think around the 1st of May. That's probably a month too late here, so I think I'll try and start them earlier next year and see if I can get more of a harvest than I am this year, because I don't expect them to last too much longer. This is just another view of my garden. As you can see, I do a pretty good job. I'm only out here a little bit, about once a week. Otherwise, I do not tend to this very much. So all of you who think gardening is rather difficult, it isn't. It does take time, it does take commitment, but I think the hardest part is just getting everything in the ground. Once you've got it in the ground, it grows. Just a little bit of weeding here or there. As far as fertilizers and other things go, I don't use a whole lot. I do when I plant. I throw things like fish meal and bone meal and other types of things, even like bat guano and a whole bunch of crazy things that you probably never heard of, and I had never heard of either. But I try to grow as organic as possible. I don't like to use chemicals and any pesticides or sprays. So definitely not organic by any means. I do use other types of things in the garden that might not be considered organic, but I do the best I can, and so far everything seems to be liking it. I do see lots of bugs and beetles and other types of pests that I'd love to get rid of, but they have a place here, and I do as well. So I try to just let that go. So this is about it. Not a whole lot more that I have to share. As you can see, when I do harvest some of the plants like this cauliflower, I just tend to throw the remaining plant right in the row here, because eventually it'll compost down, and then each year I dig out these rows and throw that nice good soil, that compost, into the other areas in the garden and top on these rows. And then I tend to till that in or kind of mix that into the soil, and I think that works really well. So the other thing, last thing I guess I'll share, here's that kale again, is I have some broccoli rapini going to seed. You can see here that they're if I break it open, it's kind of hard to see there. You can see I've got some seeds that are already forming, and my goal is to eventually plant some of these over here. So I'll go ahead and just sprinkle these on. Hopefully something will grow here. We'll see. Nothing wrong with growing some extra broccoli rabe. But I'm planning to harvest that plant soon with all those seeds, and we'll see how that grows. So Lots of seeds here on this plant. I think that's it. Again, this is a June 30th update. I might have another update soon, maybe in a month or a couple weeks, just to show you some of the differences. This garlic will be out and some other things will be out as we turn more into the heat of the summer. So we'll see. That's my update for now. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. And we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.